Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
It's 92 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 in Accra, Love 99.5 in Kumasi, and myjoyonline.com. We're also live in all 16 regions of Ghana on Bishara Radio Tamale, Sky, Sunyani, and Radio Free in Nandom. We're also live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams. Coming up, coalition of domestic election observers identify discrepancies in the electoral register ahead of this afternoon's IPAC meeting.
I was just reading the exhibition reports, and it highlighted some of these challenges. But in all these challenges that we highlight, they are not challenges that are infinite. They are not challenges that cannot be resolved.
We'll hear from the NDC as it prepares to make its case before the EC.
We will appear before them as stated at 2 p.m. But we will find innovative means of making sure that the media capture exactly what we are going to present to them.
Also this afternoon, NPP presidential campaign team criticized for using the foreign ministry to invite diplomats to a meeting as the NDC minority in parliament says it's abusing its incumbency.
This has never happened in the entire history of Ghana. You do not reduce Ghana's foreign ministry to an appendage of a political party. You do not do that. It is totally abominable. It is reprehensible.
We have details of that, plus the funny side of politics today.
India footballer 33-0.
We have Keno Foriata. What a solid team. What a solid team.
You want to stay for details. Also, the embattled Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast seeks Asantehene's intervention amid the institution's leadership crisis.
In the late 1980s and 1990s, our institution was marred in what was informally known as the era of the University of Constant Confusion.
However, the Asantehene has some reservations about the relevance of education in the face of the country's many challenges.
So when I hear the endless lamentations about our economy is in distress, when I see our legislature in gridlock, unable to agree on issues of national interest, when I'm told about the declining public confidence in law enforcement, I can't help asking myself, is that what education can deliver for all our investment?
We have sports.
The National Sports Authority hits back at critics of the Baba Yara Sports Stadium following Ghana's loss in Kumasi for the first time in 24 years.
And these are more with me, Maame, Nyamekye, Thompson. Stay with us for details. Let's dig in now. The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, says it has identified discrepancies in the data contained in the Provisional Voters Register as compared to what the Electoral Commission made available and what the National Democratic Congress is also reporting. As the EC prepares to engage all actors at an inter-party advisory committee meeting later this afternoon, CODEO is urging the EC to take steps that will effectively address the issues. Speaking on the sidelines of a mediation dialogue organized by ECOWAS in Accra, Programs Director at CDD in charge of election security, Paul Mensah Brampa, expressed hopes that today's meeting would help resolve all challenges.
No, so in electoral processes, we can't have everything 100% okay, as I said. But the readiness of the stakeholders to resolve the challenges identified, it's what makes the process move forward. So yes, we've identified the challenges. The challenge itself, we are not happy that there's a challenge, but we are happy that there are steps in place to resolve it. Yeah, so the challenge was that there were discrepancies in the data, in the register, as compared to what the Electoral Commission gave and what the NDC also had. The Electoral Commission provided answer that there was a mistake on compiling previous transfer data and adding it to what we have here. And because the challenge has been identified, they are going to purge the register. And after they do the corrections on all identified challenges through the exhibition, we'll have a clear register. Kodio also has our resource. I was just reading the exhibition reports, and it highlighted some of these challenges. But in all these challenges that we highlight, they are not challenges that are infinite. They are not challenges that cannot be resolved. They are challenges. So that's why I said it's one thing identifying the challenges, and one thing presenting the challenge to the authority, appropriate authority to resolve, and one thing for the authority to accept to resolve it. So I'm happy that the challenges have been identified. That's first point. And I'm also happy that the Electoral Commission has accepted responsibility and provided some avenues or the steps that is taking to resolve the challenges.
Well, the Electoral Commission has rejected NDC's request for a live telecast of today's meeting. My colleague Winston Amo has more in the EC's letter to the NDC.
Well, the Commission says that it's ready to hear from the NDC about the discrepancies it has identified with the Provisional Voters Register. And the identification of discrepancies by a party, according to the Electoral Commission, is not a new phenomenon. And the Commission welcomes it in the hope that it will help ensure a credible register lead ahead of the 2024 general elections as envisaged by the exhibition exercise. The Commission, however, is absolutely committed to free, fair, transparent, peaceful and credible elections, but the Commission does not accept the proposal of a live broadcast of this meeting. And it says that our team is ready to meet with your team on the agreed time.
We can also hear from the Deputy Chair of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asari, admitting to the errors.
In the preparations towards the 2024 exhibition exercise, the absent voters list and the transferred voters list inadvertently included all transfers that had been done since 2020 when this register was first prepared. This has resulted in a higher than expected number of absent and transferred voters. This understandably may have caused some anxiety to our stakeholders, as exemplified by the press conference addressed by the NDC in the Ejumaku Enyan SCM constituency of the Central Region. The Commission has corrected this anomaly and will share with all the political parties the corrected absent and transferred voters list. The voters involved in the Tamale South and Sangnerigu constituencies incident have denied taking part in a transfer exercise. What they have alluded to is that their voter ID cards were collected by one Haruna Muniru, ostensibly for the processing of a loan. Preliminary investigations by the Commission have revealed that voter transfers were indeed effected for 38 individuals using the credentials of an Electoral Commission official. The Commission has suspended the Pusiga District Electoral Officer and has invited him to respond to the Commission's findings.
Well, so how is the NDC approaching this meeting? Joining us on the line is Mustafa Mande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. We're grateful for your time on the Midday News. You have just about 2 hours going into this meeting. The EC has rejected your request to telecast it live. How then do you approach it after promising innovative means to get the media to capture the proceedings?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to our cherished listeners. First of all, the EC have just demonstrated zero tolerance to transparency, which falls short of its core mandate to be transparent to the people of Ghana. Number two, if you look at these EC's all-race press conference they have organized, it is not only a cover-up, it's an afterthought that they have been exposed. The errors that we are talking about are not mistake. They are not errors. They are deliberate, fraudulent, illegal manipulation of the voters' register with a sole intention to rig and to defraud the election. The silence of the MPP is more revealing of their hidden agenda. Now, we are going into this meeting to give them further and better particulars, because we are taught that after we had written to the Electoral Commission and its response that set was going to be the meeting, we'll all keep quiet until the meeting. So why was the Electoral Commission running to organize a press conference when nobody is chasing the commission? Because we're waiting to discuss these issues. And the Electoral Commission acknowledges that some of the preliminary issues we have raised are true and that it has corrected same. Why didn't the commission discover its own mistakes? and for the NDC to only discover it while the MPP is sleeping. Well, that is why we are calling that. Look, the anomalies that we have discovered, the discrepancies that we have discovered, we are going to give them further and better particulars of the fraud that they have perpetrated on the voters register, which makes the document not fit for purpose. The document cannot be fit to be qualified as a voters register. It's a manipulated document, a document that has been tempered, data of people have been tampered with illegally, and that the best we can do to salvage the situation, given the gross incompetence, deliberate fraudulent actors within the commission who are bent on compromising the credibility of the voters register.
Right.
Let us do an
Mr.
audit,
Gbande,
right?
if you can hear me out now, I mean, it's just 2 hours and you seem to have an entrenched position in this matter. But going into this meeting, are you open to what the EC is going to say about this?
We are open. The standard of Electoral Commission's work is to have a credible, transparent, free and fair electioneering process. Nothing must be short of that. Anything short of that standard is chaotic. We need Ghanaians to register and vote. That's what the Constitution says. Ghanaians have queued, registered and written their name, waiting to vote. They have given them a voter ID card. If these Ghanaians go to the polls and they cannot find their name, what are we telling them?
All right. We're grateful for your time. Mustafa Gbande is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Still on the election headquarters, the governing New Patriotic Party's presidential campaign team is facing criticism from the NDC's minority in Parliament for using the Foreign Affairs Ministry to send out invitations to diplomats to a meeting. The Bawumia campaign team had requested to meet with diplomats resident in the country, but the invitation letter was sent through the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. We'll get into the reactions and the response of the campaign team shortly. First, member of our political desk, Kweku Asante, joins us in studio with more. Kweku, what is the content of this letter that has been leaked to the public by the Nocturne MP?
Well, it says the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration presents its compliments, and they are sending this at the instance of the diplomatic liaison team of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign, and he has the honor to extend an invitation to the head of missions to attend, quote, a briefing session on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's 2024 presidential campaign, scheduled to take place at the Kempinski Hotel, Accra, today, Friday, 6 September 2024, from 9 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. The missions may contact a contact that they had given. And so this is exactly the letter that was sent from Ghana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs to diplomatic missions, international organizations, and honorary consulates who are resident in Accra.
Well, you've also been digging to confirm whether the diplomats, I beg your pardon, received this letter. What did you find?
Well, yes, indeed. Some high commissions confirmed to us that they had received this invitation and that indeed they were preparing to attend this meeting. Okay. Later on, just about 9 a.m., we got confirmation that this meeting had been cancelled, and some of them telling us that ostensibly because of the leakage of this letter and some of the criticism that had come out. We have also been reaching out to the governing New Patriotic Party for a response, and we've gotten some officials who have spoken to us off the record, but who are telling us that they do not see anything wrong. They believe that the ministry is the sole repository of contacts to some of these missions. That is the reason why they went through them, and not because they intend to abuse their incumbency.
Well, Kweku, stay with me. We've been getting some responses from the campaign team. Now, Nocturne MP and former minority spokesperson on foreign affairs says the development is a breach of diplomatic protocols and an abuse of the foreign ministry for political gain.
This has never happened in the entire history of Ghana. You do not reduce Ghana's foreign ministry to an appendage of a political party. You do not do that. It is totally abominable. It is reprehensible. It is absolutely unacceptable. It flies against diplomatic protocols. It flies against the credibility of state institutions. No least an institution than the foreign ministry. It is not done. Look, there is nothing wrong with a campaign inviting diplomats to have an interaction with them. We all do that. The last NDC manifesto launch, we invited diplomats. We did that directly. So let your party directly invite the diplomats.
Well, Mr. Ablako says his side will push to have the foreign minister dragged before Parliament to answer questions.
We are protesting, and we are going to summon the foreign minister. She must tell us how this happened. Did she endorse this? Did she approve it? If she didn't, How is she going to investigate this, find out the officials who have reduced our foreign ministry into such disrepute? What will be the sanctions and what measures will be put in place to forestall this?
And you had the Nortong MP Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. Well, in a related development, flag bearer of the CPP, Nana Akosua-Frimpong Sapong Kumankuma, is confident the Ghanaian electorate will vote for the party in December.
When the water is being polluted, when you can't have access to job, when your father who got a stroke is in the house and there's no welfare and social services have collapsed, somebody is going to have to answer.
When should we expect the manifesto from you?
I think that immediately we finish our filing, maximum by the time that we celebrate the birthday of our father, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, we would have our manifesto.
So there's not a confirmed date yet?
It should be around that time, on that day.
Now,
we have not confirmed this is supposed to go through. We have already done our manifesto. Indeed, we have the best manifesto.
What's it called?
No. I mean the previous one. This one. Let me keep it small here.
It shouldn't be a secret. It's 92 days to the elections. We should be absorbing and dissecting.
I'm giving you some. I'm telling you that. Okay. Listen, people think we are late. Sometimes it's even better to be late, so then you get to observe everything.
And you heard the flag bearer of the CPP, Nana Akosua-Frimpong Sapong Kumankuma. Now, the countdown to the December 7 election is on, and parties are still aggressively campaigning either to take over the seat of government or be maintained. The campaigns aren't without their funny moments. Prince Kwame Kudoga highlights some of them from the campaign trails.
So which one is better, home used or brand new?
Brand new tier rubber president. Now, move on to Mamna. Now, one second hand failed president.
Obi say on the two man obey a tier rubber president. Now, Obi so ye two man obey home second hand. Yeah, second hander. And now ye adidada ye penisa. We say adidada so and experience a womb.
Then the 24-hour economy policy of the NDC has been up for discussion.
Our restaurants, discotheques, our nightclubs, our hotels, 24/7, 24 hours a day.
Running mate to the flag bearer of the governing NPP, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, says he has a stronger reason why the policy is not feasible. Now the droughts in the northern regions have caused fears of imminent food shortage, but no one knows the cause.
I'm a bad luck in tea. I'm a bad luck in tea, so I feel insurance.
Again, Dr. Bawumia is strongly defending his records as vice president.
We did 33 policies about Ghana. 33. Not even one. Footballer 33-0.
All of them, the day inside. When Vice President Bawumia was saying, our economic management team, we have Professor John Bafo, we have Alan Chiramate, we have Honorable Osafo Mafo, we have Ken Oforiatta. What a solid team. What a solid team earlier.
But who exactly was this job for?
Economists here, Nehojo, Onyansafu Oba, Onyansafu Awanomusa, Oh, Mukas Onyamiashira, Onyamiashira. Ghana, Eya Benya.
As election day approaches, the fun and punches keep flying. Politics in Ghana is never boring after all. Prince Kwame Kudoga's report for Joy.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development.
And you're still listening to the Midday News here on Joe 99.7 FM. And you've been listening to sports. We'll take a break from here. We'll return with sports. And then still to come, despite being praised as fearless, courageous and bold, as Antonio Tumfo said, to reveals he has one fear.
Whilst we were walking through, I saw the sea.
and I panicked.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers.
You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
East, west, north, south, Obiama to be.
You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
Accra to Haga.
Let's go.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers.
Star 712 hash.
You could be the luckiest.
You're welcome back to the Midday News. We have sports with Mubarak.
Yes, Maame. So yesterday, Ghana lost 1-0 to Angola in their 2025 AFCON qualifier. That was the Black Stars' first defeat in Kumasi since the year 2000. However, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium pitch became a major talking point as the senior national team struggled to showcase their quality on the bumpy turf. Head coach Otuado described it as not good, an assertion the Deputy Director General of the NSA, Bao Majid, disagrees with.
Are they suggesting that the Angolans were playing in the sky? My brother, they are all footballers. Those they assembled to play against the Black Star are professionals. We assemble our professionals. They all play on the same pitch. Yesterday they were here. The Angolans were here. They trained between 4 and 5. They were here. The Black Stars also came. They also trained here. CAF has inspected the pitch and approved it for the game. Let's just look at what happened. We might not be coaches, but we follow football and we understand football. We all suspected and we all wanted, even the fans themselves were agitating for change in the 60th minute.
Yep, so more analysis on game plan at 1:15 p.m.
Thank you.
Do join us.
Thank you, Mubarak. Now, the embattled Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor John Nyako Bwampong, is seeking the support of the Asantehene to resolve the institution's recent leadership crisis. This week, a Cape Coast High Court granted an injunction filed by John Mevemiu, a resident of Millennium City, Kaswa in the Central Region, against the Vice Chancellor, Professor Johnson Nyako Bwampong. The court's decision restrains Professor Nyako Bwampong from acting as Vice Chancellor. This follows the university's decision to renew his appointment until July 31, 2026. Addressing a special congregation to confer a doctorate on the Asantehene, the Vice Chancellor called for Otunfo's intervention.
In the late 1980s and 1990s, our institution was marred in what was informally known as the era of the University of Constant Confusion. During these years, external pressures and internal discourse sowed seeds of instability, disrupting our academic environment and tarnishing the reputation of this great university. Today, however, we face new challenges, ones that threaten to unravel the progress we have made. Recent attempts to undermine the leadership of the Vice Chancellor and reminiscent of the uncertainties that once plagued our university. Such actions, driven by external pressures, risk plunging us back into an era of confusion and instability. It is at this critical juncture that we turn to your leadership, your mandates. We face challenges today, particularly within our.
Well, the Asantini Otufo said to the second, however, questioned the relevance of the country's education if beneficiaries cannot address the many challenges facing the country.
Is education delivering the goals and objectives for Ghana? Has education delivered the intended outcomes? Has education justified the sacrifices it has demanded of the people? If these questions come as a shock to the nation, and probably more so to this audience, it can only be because we have avoided the need for continuous critical evaluation of the outcome of our investments, not only in education but in several other spheres. Logically, you would expect this output of highly educated leaders to translate into greater efficiency in the management of our affairs, particularly in the management of the national economy. So when I hear the endless lamentations about our economy is in distress, when I see our legislature in gridlock, unable to agree on issues of national interest, when I'm told about the decline in public confidence in law enforcement, I can't help asking myself, is that what education can deliver for all our investment and all our sacrifices?
And you heard there Asantini Otufo said to the second. We'll be bringing you more about his fear, but before then, tomorrow is the climax of the Fetu Afahye with a Deba, host of the Super Morning Show. Kojo Yankson is a member of the Planning Committee and joins me. Kojo, you've been in Ogwa for days now, enjoying without me, but what can we expect tomorrow at the Fetu Afahye Deba?
Well, Maame, as you explained, tomorrow is the climax of this big event. We've got special guests coming from all echelons of society. The Vice President will be here alongside the former President, John Dramani Mahama. We will also have the Chief Justice and the Speaker of Parliament. So in essence, number 2, number 3, and number 4 will be here alongside the former President, John Dramani Mahama. And of course, several members of the diplomatic corps, specifically the British High Commissioner to Ghana, will also be delivering an address here. So it's a big event. Now, there is something special about it. The procession that leads to the Durbar normally starts from Mfansipim School, with the Osaberima himself being carried in a palanquin alongside his other sub-chiefs. This year, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II will also be carried in a palanquin through a shorter version of the procession from a place called Kumase House all the way to the Durbar grounds at Victoria Park. He and his sub-chiefs will be carried in palanquins for that journey, and it will be quite a spectacle. It has never happened before in the history of Ghana, and we are looking forward to that and many other spectacles throughout the day.
Thank you so much, Kojo. We'll certainly meet you there tomorrow. Now, former president of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, Reverend Professor Paul Frimpong Manso, wants church leaders to mobilize their congregations to protest against the illegal mining menace. Speaking to Raymond Akwan Affront, the former General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God Church emphasized that only through such mass protests can the government be pressured to take a decisive action.
My colleague church leaders, we are preparing the people for heaven. We are not preparing deaf people to heaven. We must preach the truth like Jeremiah and Amos. People will hate us. They will fight us. They will not understand us. But that is what Desmond Tutu and the others did.
Well, in a related call, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Full Gospel Church, Bishop Dr. S.N. Mensah, has demanded the resignation of the Lands Minister Samuel Abu-Janapor, accusing him of failing in the fight against illegal mining.
Well, first of all, he should resign. He has refused to provide leadership to ensure that this destructive behavior, which is a life-threatening situation against all of us, should be curtailed.
And now we all know the Asantini is fearless, courageous and bold. But despite these accolades, he has one fear. At a dinner organized in his honor by the Paramount Chief of Cape Coast, Osaberima Kwesiata, the Asantini revealed it.
Whilst we were working through, I saw the sea and I panicked. And I told him, Osabrema, you know, those of us in Ashanti and the Middle Belt, we don't like the sea. So I don't want to get closer to that. And he said, we shall go and swim.
Well, it's not surprising that the Asantini fears the sea, obviously. But we are going to do M&J, and Jackie is here with me in the studio. Are you afraid of the sea?
Well,
you also don't come from the
I come from Crow, so you should understand.
So what's trending?
Well, obviously the Black Stars are trending after they lost their match against Angola. People are talking about the pitch. And someone says that I'm Rich Forever says that they are seeing the pitch, but Angola people were playing on the same pitch, shaking my head. So a lot of conversations revolving the pitch. But apart from that, Napo is trending after he made the statement.
Years later.
Hey, interesting one there. And social media users are not taking this lightly. So Lenthini says that Nkrumah taking own, Mahama taking own, God has just taken his own. God's Bonafide also says that God day in somewhere where Napo de Jabam. And this last one from Osei Brandt here also says that Napo is just like Samsung, releasing new models every 3 minutes. But then apart from that, Kiddy has officially finally released the official video of his song with Black Sharif, Lomo Lomo. You know that song, right?
I think I do. We've played it before.
Yes, definitely. The video is out. The official video is out on social media.
Interesting. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jackie. And that's how we end the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Up next is Pastor Mensa Audible with Living Word.